What's going on, everybody? We're back. Another day, another episode, and yet again, another gun on the bench to talk about. Today, we have a Lee-Enfield
Mark III, number one.
Mark III, number one. I'm here with my buddy Johnny. He's the owner of this fine weapon, and he knows a little bit more about it than I certainly do.
Not too much, but just a little bit.
What can you tell us about it?
Well, this was the main service rifle of the British Army during most of the 20th century. It is a bolt-action repeating rifle that has a 5-round magazine that is detachable. And the best part about this magazine itself is that it is metal, which I know you love, Chris.
Yeah, I could definitely appreciate a metal mag. These are great. You know, today with like modern weapons or modern guns, you see a lot of those polymer mags, which makes a lot of sense for cost and storage are a lot lighter, but you just can't beat the feeling of a metal mag. You know, I love it. The stock is constructed entirely of wood, which is pretty common, obviously, for that time period.
Definitely one of the most deadliest guns ever used, just due to the kill count that the Lee-Enfield definitely has across all the wars that it was used, plus all of the other conflicts after the British started to sell them off really to
various nations, really.
Various
right?
nations, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of an eerie feeling when you're holding a lot of these older weapons that you know have been like either actively in wars or all in and around that time period, to know like, hey, there's a pretty good chance that maybe not necessarily this particular gun, maybe actually,
Yeah,
it's possible. Like you just don't know. So it's an eerie feeling to hold a weapon that you know is literally designed for one reason and one reason only, which is kind of strange.
Yeah. This rifle's also really nice too. It's super easy to clean. The bolt just kind of clicks off the back here and you pull it straight out. Nice and easy for cleaning that. And then you can look straight down the bore and give it a good wipe through. Normally, they would keep all their cleaning supplies here in the back here. This is just very difficult to open without a screwdriver just due to the age of this weapon itself. But all in all, very solid, very nice weapon.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell there's some history behind this one, because even if you look at the back of that, I guess was that brass? I guess it's a brass, what do you even call that? A butt stock end cap, I guess, but you can tell it's hit some things, you know? It's definitely hit some things.
A little bit dented.
Yeah, but overall, she's in really good shape, and we fired it for the first time a couple weeks back, for probably the first time in
years.
Who knows how many years, or how many decades even. Yeah, it's pretty neat gun. One thing that I thought was pretty cool when I first grabbed it was it's actually a spring-loaded bolt. So like, she ejects right away. Like you don't have to manually pull back on that, which is super cool, especially for that time period, you know? So you could definitely tell why this was, the chosen main, weapon used by the British troops. It's reliable. It's a simple design, and just an overall really cool gun and cool piece of history to have in the gun cabinet.
And it held up over all these years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, it's pretty cool. You have the sight here to adjust for your windage, which Johnny and I don't know that we have the skills to probably use such a thing in an effective way, but it's cool to think about like some of these troops that like this is what they had for long range shooting. There was no scope mounted on this gun. Just figure it out, you know, adjust that windage and figure it out, your elevation. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, only a few were actually chosen to have scopes for this gun. It's actually one of the only facts I do know about this gun. When they did the quality testing, they would only take the most accurate ones and use them in the sniper program. Those would be outfitted with the scopes and be given out to the, so to say, snipers that were trained in that regard.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's chambered in .303, which again is a pretty high velocity round, you know, and coming out of I'd say probably 23-inch barrel, 22-inch barrel maybe.
Around.
I'd say that would shoot pretty good. I think they're probably, you know, hitting their targets at well past 200 yards, I would think. Yeah, neat gun. Pretty light too. I think it probably only weighs like 7 pounds maybe?
Yeah, 7-8 pounds maybe.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty really nice rifle.
Rugged steel wood construction.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, definitely old school.
And still everything works very beautifully. You just slide it in. Bang.
Yeah, it's so militant. I really like these old school rifles, man. I love seeing, you know, weapons that are used in historic events and in wars. I think that's a really cool thing as a civilian to be able to have in your gun cabinet or in your rack there. And I know if this was mine personally, I'd be having this as a wall piece. But Johnny prefers to take it to the range and spit some brass down the range, which is still pretty cool.
Every once in a while, 303s are pretty expensive. Probably just under the price of your 270 wins whenever that video decides to come out.
Are they that expensive? A few bucks a bullet, eh?
Oh, $60 for 20. So
yeah, wow,
it's not a cheap one. Not a cheap one.
Yeah, $3 a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I guess there's not much surplus ammo chambered in 303 available.
You can get reloads at some places, but do you really trust them?
Personally, for me, I don't. I don't know anybody personally that that reloads that I would trust enough to purchase ammo from them. But just as well, at least purchasing them from a manufacturer, there's a little bit of like liability in that regard, and some confidence shooting new rounds. But yeah, pretty neat gun, man. Pretty neat. This gun was originally designed by James Paris Lee, and it was the standard British service rifle from 1895 to 1957. It is believed that they manufactured more than 17 million of these rifles, including its variants. So if you are lucky enough to find one of these somewhere on the market, whether that's at a swap meet or some type of consignment sale, I would highly recommend picking one of these up. You can get them, like the price varies, anywhere between probably a couple $100 and maybe up to upwards of a couple grand, depending on condition and what batch it was manufactured. But nonetheless, if you want a cool piece of history and you're so lucky to find one of these, I would highly recommend picking one up. As always, we appreciate you watching the video. We have a lot more guns to talk about, so stay tuned for the next one.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you'd like.